Okay, welcome to the regular meeting of the Complaint Committee, called to order at 5:44. Apologize for the delay. We've had some last-minute changes in membership.
Okay, this one. Got it.
So, Mr. Clerk, would you please call the meeting to order and call the roll?
This is the meeting of the Sunshine Ordinance Task Force Complaint Committee for January 23rd, 2018 at the hour of 5:44 p.m. On the call the roll, Member Tesfa, excused. Member Wolf, absent. Member Hinsey.
Here.
Hinsey present. Member Fisher has been assigned to this committee for today's meeting.
Present.
Present.
Through Chair Hensey, did we hear from Member Wolf?
Yeah,
Is he okay?
he's stuck in traffic.
Oh, okay. Oh, is he on his way?
He was, but he doesn't anticipate being able to. It was just really bad.
I live to serve.
We do have a quorum. Regarding agenda changes, we have a request for item number 6 to be moved further up on the calendar due to personal issues. The request was made by the respondent.
What do you want to? Where did they request where to move it?
Closer to the top, if
Okay.
as much as possible.
Is that, it's the respondent who's, the complainant who's asking for that?
It's the respondent who has asked.
Is the respondent
issues.
here?
Yes.
Yeah, let's hear from the respondent and see.
Let's
hear from the respondent and see.
the question is to everybody ahead of her if they're okay with it, but go ahead, let's hear what you have to say.
Hi, so I'm just requesting it because my mom has Alzheimer's and I go up and I help with my sister.
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's your call.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's.
Would you like to move the item farther up on the agenda to the
Sure.
first hearing complaint today?
Yeah, but we're gonna
Sure.
we still have to take public comment on that.
Public comment on the agenda
Yeah.
change.
Thank you.
Is there any public comment regarding
On
the
the-
agenda change?
I'd like also agenda change if you can move up 13 and 14.
What
What number were you?
Those are towards the end of the agenda. Those are only for jurisdiction purposes.
I'm sorry, what item numbers were they?
13, 14.
13, 14,
Aren't those?
you don't.
Okay, hang
please
on.
have a
Let us.
seat.
I just.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
you can
let's-
comment.
So we only have to determine jurisdiction.
We have
for
additional
this one?
comment on the agenda change.
Okay. Go ahead.
My public comment is I noticed in the Ethics Commission work plan that there is a new item in the Gantt chart. That
Sir,
starts
is
in
this regarding
Is
the
this
agenda
regarding
change?
the agenda change?
Yeah, that might not be us.
Will the item be resolved by the task force by April when the task force is removed and discontinued and disbanded? If it will not be, why change the agenda?
No, we're talking about the agenda change for this specific meeting.
Let me, through the chair.
Yeah.
My suggestion, among the three of us. No, my suggestion is why don't we pull those two jurisdiction issues up first and then go
Yeah.
to the probation one? Because aren't those?
May I make a different suggestion?
What?
I'll give you all the jurisdictions at once immediately.
That's what I was going for. Yeah.
Sure, let's do like a consent calendar.
Can you
would you
call
like
that for us since you're more on top of it than we are? Like you.
Would you like to adopt those agenda changes
Yes.
at this time?
Yes, by affirmation.
The changes to agenda have been adopted without objection. I would like to call on the agenda. My apologies.
We're here with you.
I would like to call items 10 through 14. The complaint committee shall review file numbers 17134, 17136, 18001, 18002, and 18003 to determine if the Sunshine Ordinance Task Force has jurisdiction and determine if the requested records are public pursuant to Administrative Code Section 67.21E. Would anybody like to comment regarding the whether or not the Sunshine Ordinance Task Force has jurisdiction on items 10 through 14 at this time?
So are these all one?
Jurisdiction only.
But they're not.
And through the chair, Monsieur Clerk, what do I call you? Mr. Young, are these all one, or do we treat each one separately?
We're only determining whether or not we have jurisdiction on these items or not.
So one after another, after another, after another.
We can take one vote on all of them at the same time, unless you have an objection to that.
No, I just want to know what they are first. What page are they?
If you look on your agenda, it's on page 3. Actually,
No, I've got this big chunky thing. Where would I find them in
you
here?
don't just look at that.
I don't. Okay, let's go.
We're just determining whether or not we have jurisdiction over the department.
Oh, well, there are departments. PUC is a department.
Is there any public comment regarding jurisdiction at this time?
DHR, Treasurer, Tax Collector.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we talk for a few minutes, and then we'll make our decision. Can we give her 2 minutes?
Yes. Yep. 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
3 minutes, yeah.
This is regarding item 13 and 14 against the Arts Commission, naming Tom DeCaney, the Director of Cultural Affairs. Basically, these are documents not received. The next request system that Kate Patterson uses, she's just basically made a farce out of it. I get up to 2,000 emails from her. These are simple document requests that would take less than 10 minutes. She's not able to read it and to send the documents or publish it so that the public can see it or I can see it. She'll open and close the request repeatedly, sometime up to 6 times, and that generates duplicative emails from this next request system to me, sometime up to 2,000. And it's a mistake she makes over and over again. So they're documents that are public, and the department is within the jurisdiction.
Okay.
Okay.
I would like to make a motion that on items numbers 13,
10 through 14.
You want to do them all? Okay. As I can see that items number 10 through 14 are all filed against organizations that are within the purview of the Sunshine Ordinance, as they are departments within the City and County of San Francisco. I make the motion that 10 through 14, I make a motion for jurisdiction on items 10 through 14.
I will second that. Do
Wait
we
a
need to take a formal vote, or?
Would you like to, on the motion to find that the Sunshine Ordinance Task Force has jurisdiction through items 10 through 14, on that motion, Member Fisher?
Aye.
Fisher, aye. Member Hensy?
Aye.
Hensy, aye. Wolf, absent. Tesfa, excused. The motion passes. The committee has determined that we have jurisdiction over these complaints, and the matters will be scheduled for a hearing on a future date.
Thank you.
I didn't know we did that. I haven't been on, I didn't know we did that. Okay.
We do now to comply with the 45 days.
Next on the agenda is item number 2, approval of the November 28, 2017 Complaint Committee meeting minutes.
I'll
I wasn't
go
here,
ahead.
so
Yeah, I'll go ahead and make that motion to approve.
I am
The
going
minutes.
to trust my valued colleague here, and I'm going to second that motion.
Yeah.
Is there any public comment regarding
The minutes.
approval of the meeting minutes? There being no public comment, Member Hensy?
Aye.
Hensy, aye. Member Fisher?
Aye.
Fisher, aye. Wolf, absent. Tesfa, excused. The motion passes without objection.
So now we're going to
Next on the agenda is item number 3, public comment. Members of the public may address the committee on matters that are within the committee's jurisdiction but not on today's agenda.
Is there any general public comment at this time?
Hearing none, move on.
This is general public comment.
The guy just spoke in the wrong section, and now he's gone. So my issue is that I feel extremely frustrated. I've been in front of this body against the Arts Commission for 5 years. They continue to make the same mistake. Just when you think that it can't get any better, take today, for example. They have a special meeting. So I asked, where's the meeting taking place and what's the agenda? They said it was at a Kapora's restaurant on Fisherman's Wharf. And then they said, no, it's across the street in the War Memorial Building. Well, how am I supposed to know where this meeting is taking place if they don't put an agenda up, publicize it, give supporting documents like, it's supposed to happen according to the ordinance. I'm not going to run around the city trying to figure out where this meeting is taking place. It's just very frustrating. You people have to do something. Thank you.
Is there any other general public comment at this time? General public comment is closed. We are now going to take item number 6 out of order. I will provide that momentarily. Item number 6, file number 17123, complaint filed by Anonymous against the Juvenile Probation Commission for allegedly violating Administrative Code Section 67.21 by failing to respond to a public request in a timely and/or complete manner. Just for the audience's information, I would like to state that the goal of this committee is to determine whether or not we have enough information to send it to the full task force for review of on the merits of the complaint. The committee will provide 3 minutes to each party, and then they will ask questions, and then they will make their determination on how to proceed with the matter. Give me a moment, I'll get that for you. At this time, the complainant may present their complaint. You have 3 minutes.
Put up
Thank
on
you.
my computer and then reference it to here for Fiona.
I'll get it.
Commissioners, hello. I hope you do more than just decide whether it's within the jurisdiction and whether they're not responsive. Because when I made the complaint on November the 3rd of last year, I got a response some days afterwards saying that they did not receive the complaint until February 7th. It was an email delivered to complaint, so there was no reason they didn't receive it the very next day at the very latest. If they didn't see it until the 7th, that didn't excuse the fact that it was given to them or sent to them by the 3rd, and so the date of responsiveness should have been started at the 3rd. If they only have a part-time staff who doesn't attend to their emails until whenever, that's on them. So their responsiveness did exceed the 10 days that was given to them by my email request. The other part of that was their responsiveness was not really responsive because all they were saying was that they don't have the file. It's a simple recording of a single meeting, including the closed session portion. After I read the Sunshine and Public Records documents, I was within my rights to request even the closed session. I know it was recorded. I was there. It was recorded. Recordings of the Juvenile Probation Commission meetings had been done since 1994, all the way up to 2007. After that, I don't know what they did, but there were recordings of every meeting of that commission up until that time, December. So for them to simply say they didn't have the file was not being responsive. Why they don't have the file is a bigger question. Is it a violation of public records retention? They don't have that file. Are they in violation of not having it when they're supposed to have it? So it's a simple request of a simple meeting recording, and I think they've shown that they aren't responsive to that. Thank you very much.
The respondent, please approach.
Hello. So I started in January 2009, and when I came on board, we did not have that information. As a matter of fact, I think the position had been vacant for almost a year. So what I did get was just a box and the information that I had. I think the meeting was 2002. So since I came on board, everything's been put online, our agendas, meeting minutes, and our audio. So from January 2009, I've been responsible for it, and it's been on there. But he's requesting information from December 2007. I did not have it in my office.
Are you done? Because we're going to ask questions.
Yes, I'm done.
So I didn't get your name. I'm sorry.
My name is Pauline Silva Ray.
So, Ms. Silva Ray, you've been there since 2009, and Mr. Anonymous's request goes back to December of 2002 or 2007? 2007? Yes. So he's asked for something from 2007. Does it exist?
No.
Do you have it?
The commission did not have that information.
So
Let's let her answer. So,
Well, when I got there, it just wasn't in the office. The office was pretty sparse. The position had not been filled for almost a year. So when I got there, it was literally building the office from the ground up. I didn't have any information.
So did your
Predecessor?
did your commission not record its meetings?
I believe they did, but when I got information, the only meeting that I had, it went back to 2002.
Oh,
So
okay.
I didn't post anything prior, just going from January 2009 forward.
Yeah, and, I'm a little concerned here because I think Mr. Anonymous says, you're required to have records of this meeting.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to exist, correct? Are they in some sort of archive somewhere? Are they?
We checked with the
and
department.
it's a recording, right? This is
Right.
an audio recording you're looking for?
I believe so. It's a closed session that he's looking for, and I did check with the department, and they do not have that information as well. So
Yeah, we can't
not
compel
really
somebody
sure.
to create a record that doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
but I wasn't there, so.
Let's have Mr. Anonymous come on up and Ms. Pauline, whose last name I can't.
It was a meeting of
Can
the
you give
juvenile.
us some information about why you think this might exist?
I know it exists because I was there recording it. It was a December meeting of the Juvenile Probation Commission. They went into closed session. They were having it at the Potrero Hill Neighborhood Center, off-site.
Oh, yeah, I
So
know where it
everything was set up, audio, everything.
Yeah, I've been to those meetings.
Yeah, and I did the recording, and then they went into closed session. What they did with the city attorney representing them then, I don't know. They're supposed to record that in closed session. They're supposed to maintain that for a number of years. It was a personnel issue. And so within the 10 years, they said, by public records, it says that can be released, even the closed sessions on that. That's why I made the request.
Right, you've
What
waited
they
your
did
10
with it
years.
from that date on, I do not know. I don't think it absolves them from being a public body not keeping public records that way.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact, hand on a Bible, it was recorded.
All right, let me ask our
have a
commission.
question.
Oh, you have a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, I have
questions for Victor.
Pauline. Pauline.
Come on up, Pauline.
Do you know, were written minutes taken of this meeting? Was there a written?
I didn't have any records when I got to the office. I literally had to build everything from scratch. I had no idea even, I was new to my position, so I just had to build everything from ground up. I didn't have any documents to follow or anything.
So you don't have any documentation of this meeting at all?
I do not.
This closed session portion of the
So-
meeting, even this meeting period.
I do not.
I will find it.
So what I'm going to do is, we're not
Can
going
you
to.
just make the general? We don't have to quote a number. I can insert that at a later
So
time.
I'm going to
But-
make a motion that we bump this up to the full committee with so far a violation of 6721, the one for
Just
timeliness.
describe the violation and.
Timeliness, because it went more than a certain number of days, and I don't have
Failure to maintain records in a
that
professional
one. Yeah,
manner.
can you do that? Yeah.
I believe the motion made, let me write it down. The motion is to find that the task force has jurisdiction
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
and to find out a violation for failing to maintain records in a professional and complete manner and for failing to respond in a timely manner.
Yeah, that'll work, and then we'll work this out.
Yeah.
Huh? And
Yeah,
you might want to
take
call
in
public comment.
Now, public comment on this
Comment?
motion?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You said this meeting took place in a community center or a neighborhood center? That's Potrero Hill.
Please don't respond. This is public comment at this time.
Only meetings taking place in City Hall are required to be recorded and maintained. It's in the ordinance.
Smarter than us, we'll figure that out.
Is there any additional public comment at this time?
Seeing none, public comment is closed. Would you please call the roll?
On that motion, Member Hinsey,
Aye.
Member Fisher,
Aye.
Fisher, aye. Wolf absent. Chair Tesfa excused. The motion passes. This matter will be referred to the full task force for hearing on the merits of the complaint. I would like to ask the parties, are you available for hearing before the full task force on February the 7th? That is a Wednesday.
First Wednesday of February.
Okay. You will receive notice for the March meeting at, I believe it will be March 7th.
It's always the first.
It's always the first Wednesday. What time is your meeting with them?
6:30.
I can make arrangements to put you on the top of the agenda if that's helpful. That'll be 4 o'clock.
I have to be there to set up and be there.
We always meet on the first Wednesday. Is there any options for you?
When they don't have a meeting. They don't always have a meeting, but I know February and March they probably will.
Okay, please contact me and let me know when you're available. It'll be a first Wednesday of the month. Once you let me know, I will notify the department and we will attempt to make a scheduling.
Thank you.
Please keep me informed.
Will do.
Thank you.
To the next item, please call the next item.
Next on the agenda is item number. Give me one moment.
No problem.
Next on the agenda is item number 4, file number 17129, complaint filed by Patrick Roddy against the Department of Public Health for allegedly violating Administrative Code, Section 67.21, by failing to respond to a public works request in a timely and/or complete manner. I would like to provide a little bit of a history on this matter. This matter has been scheduled before the before this committee twice previously in the past. It was withdrawn prematurely, and it has been refiled. Actually, I will leave the explanation to the parties on the merits of the complaint.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Respondent.
It'll be the complainant is Mr. Roddy.
Mr. Roddy, would you please?
And Victor, what page is this?
I will give that to you momentarily. I don't have it in front of me.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Patrick Roddy. I am a geoengineering / chemtrails researcher and activist. San Francisco and the rest of the world have been sprayed by this covert program which includes toxic metals, including aluminum, barium, and so on. And I am doing an epidemiological study to find out if there is a correlation between high activity of observed spraying and mortality within the city. So back on April 22nd, 4 months ago, I requested from the Department of Public Health how many people died on each day between from 2013 to 2016. And first they said, that'll take us too long, it'll be too hard. They've had 4 months, I still have seen nothing. And I filed another request for more detailed analysis. Basically, cause of death, underlying cause of death, and some demographic information. No names, no social security numbers, nothing like that. 8 fields out of 40 in on a California death certificate. It's certainly not comprehensive, which was the only defense the Department of Public Health had. We can't give out we can't give out comprehensive data, and that's from some California State Code 102230. Epidemiology is a pretty important thing. Back in the 1854 in London, there was this Dr. John Snow. There was a cholera outbreak, and 600 people had died. So what he did, he mapped out where everyone had died, and it was clustered around a water pump. And what he did, he took the handle off the water pump and stopped the epidemic. So I want to find out what the pathogen in the air is, and also quantify how many San Franciscans are dying. And I find it astonishing how obstructive the Department of Public Health has been. They won't tell me how many people died or if people died. I mean, Mayor Ed Lee died on, it was reported he died in San Francisco General Hospital December 12th of cardiac arrest. Which of those things is secret? None. So it's important that this epidemiological study is done, and If you read through the correspondence, it's quite clear. They are very clear violation of 67.21. So thank you for your time.
Yeah, we got a lot of questions, but let's hear them.
I would like the respondent. Thank you.
Good evening, committee members. My name is Linda Acosta. I'm from the Department of Public Health. And so I always learn with these things, and this is what I learned over the course of this request. I was initially told by our records department that they were unable to create a report because they don't own this report. They don't own this database. And so after many back and forths with them, and they said, we don't have the ability to run this report. We don't run this report. This is not our data. I went to, because it belongs to the California Department of Public Health, I went to the California Department of Public Health and asked them for guidance. And I received from them, finally, a notice which I sent in, which says that those requests need to go through the California Department of Public Health. So I'm not allowed legally to give that information out. So, if we could give this information out, we would, but we are not able to give it out.
You have probably more minutes on there.
I think that's all I have to say at this moment.
Okay. Can I ask some questions of the complainant, Mr. Roddy?
Go ahead and approach, yeah.
Hi.
So I heard two things here. One, that Miss... Oh, crap. What was her name? Thank you. Miss Acosta said they have some kind of records, but they would have to create a report, and Sunshine Ordinance doesn't make people create a report. It's just you can have the records or you can't. But I remember, I just walked in here, and it's the first I've seen here, but I work for the state.
Right.
So I work for the state, so perhaps you should go across the street. Doesn't the state have these records?
They hold the records, but under the Sunshine Ordinance, if the city has access to them, they must provide them.
But what I'm hearing is that the city doesn't have access. And
yes, they do have access to them. They do.
You might as well come on up. You guys could, stay close because we have many more questions. So come on, we're friendly here. It's okay. So, Ms. Acosta, you do or you don't? This is where
it's the state's database. So what we do as the San Francisco Department of Public Health, we go in and check a box, and say that things are complete, but we don't own that database.
So you say the decedent is...
Yes.
Deceased.
We have the report from the coroner, we have the report from the hospital, complete. But we don't own that data, and the California Department of Public Health does, and they have a very clear way of getting that data, which we did provide to Mr. Roddy.
So you can't give that data to someone who requests it?
I'm not allowed to give that data out. No, and I can read this if you want. From CDPH.
That would be great if you could read it into the record. That'd be
sure. Good afternoon, Linda. According to Health and Safety Code 102230, Section 2, the birth, death, and marriage record indices prepared pursuant to Paragraph 1 and all comprehensive birth, death, and marriage record indices prepared or maintained by local registrars and county recorders shall be kept confidential and shall be exempt from disclosure under the California Public Records Act.
And who's the author of that?
That is Eric Neuhauser. He's from the Public Health Policy and Research Branch.
Is there a page number on the bottom of it? Oh, wait, I found it. Yeah, I found it. In our packet, it's page 26. Mr. Clerk, is there something we're missing here? Because this looks pretty clear-cut to me.
If you are satisfied that there's enough information for the full task force to consider, you can refer to them for hearing on the merits.
Yeah, so go ahead.
You don't need to provide a recommendation if you believe there's enough information for them to make a decision.
It's best that we make the recommendation and therefore save time at our next meeting. Yeah. The recommendation is that... Go ahead, you've got this.
I'll make a motion to refer the matter to the full task force for hearing, and I'll recommend that there's no violation of 67.
And in order to save time, can you add a note in there to reference what was page 26 in our packet so that we get right to the meat of the matter?
Yes. Yeah. I'd like to restate the motion. The motion is to determine that the task force has jurisdiction and to refer the matter to the full task force for hearing on the merits of the complaint, and with the recommendation that there is no violation of the Sunshine Ordinance Section 67.21. Did I get that correctly?
Yeah, and Mr. Roddy, I mean, come on up. You know what? Take a few. I mean, are you okay with this? Let's give him a couple minutes.
Well, Linda's case rests on she says comprehensive records. Comprehensive. I'm not asking for comprehensive records. She won't even tell me how many people died, how many records there are. I mean, if the San Francisco Chronicle can report that Ed Lee died.
Well, he's a public figure. That's
I know he's a public figure, but that someone dies. This is not a third world country. We have to be able to have access to these records, and their code specifies comprehensive. That means complete. I'm not asking for names. I'm not asking for addresses. It's incomplete by the textbook definition. They do not define comprehensive in their statute, so we have to go by the Black's Law definition. So that does not apply. They are in violation. They know it.
Well, here's the advantage. You're going to get your second day in court, and there's going to be 7 or 8 people here, one of whom is a lawyer, and there's going to be a lawyer right there who's going to be able to look into this more. And, just for the record, my father's an epidemiologist and oncologist at Yale.
Nice.
So
very cool. Yeah.
He's been doing it for 55 years. He discovered the cancer cluster up in Marin. So
nice.
I mean,
the breast cancer one back in the 80s.
Yeah, he was the second author on that.
Wonderful.
So clearly we're very interested in what you're doing, and we'll be looking at it. It's just we unfortunately are not queen for the day. We wish we were, because then we'd be like, yeah.
Well, as long as we can carry on to be discussed further, I'm great with that.
So, we will see you again, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
I'll be back.
Miss Acosta may be like, hey, I don't have anything.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to ask, like, have you gone to the state? I mean, no. It's like, good. That's none of our business. But I have
different irons in the fire. But they, if you look at their regulation, there's no time specified. There is, there's like, costs recovery and all kinds of stuff, and they're very, very vague. Here we have the Sunshine Ordinance.
Yeah, so, no, you went the path of least resistance. I'd have done the same thing.
Well, exactly, because the law says if they have access to a public record, they must do it, whether they're allowed to or not.
Yeah, you're not done here. It's just it's just the two of us here. So maybe when there's the rest of us, we'll have a lot more critical, massive brain cells. So come on back.
Right.
Anything else? Do we have any public
comment on the motion?
Is there any public comment on the matter? There being no public comment on that motion, Member Hinsey.
Oh, aye.
Hinsey, aye. Member Fisher.
Aye.
Fisher, aye. Member Wolf, absent. Chair Tesfa, excused. The motion passes. I would like to ask the parties, are you available for hearing on February the 7th?
Yes.
Okay, I will be providing a notice regarding that meeting for February the 7th. Thank you very much.
Right. Thanks so much.
Next on the agenda.
Item 5.
File number 17122, complaint filed by the La Playa Park Neighborhood Association against Supervisor Katie Tang for allegedly violating Administrative Code Section 67.21 by failing to respond to a public records request in a complete manner. I did receive a letter from Supervisor Tang today. However, I have not provided it since it was not submitted 5 days prior to the meeting. I will leave it up to the task force if you'd like to see that email or not. The complainant is here. I don't believe there is a representative
is here, but there's nobody from.
Is there anyone from Supervisor Tang's office in the audience?
Well, they came all the way here. Let's hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
Would you like to review the letter or not? Actually, it would be up to the respondent. The complainant, if he objects to this being submitted at a late date.
Would you like us to review the letter, or or?
I can speak to the letter
Okay.
as it is.
Give us 1 moment.
I can.
You have 3 minutes.
Give us. Can we give us 1 minute just to look at this, and then we'll hear it, because then we'll have more context.
Yeah, as I said, I can speak to the letter as well. I've read it.
Yeah, but we just want to take a quickie look.
Of course.
Good.
There's just a lot of words in this. Okay, why don't we
Yeah.
hear your words now?
Go ahead.
Good evening, Commissioners, Secretary Young. Thanks for reviewing this complaint. I'd urge you to be somewhat expansive in consideration of this complaint and refer it to the committee as a whole for further consideration and a hearing of that body as a whole. The complaint is a failure to respond to a records request in a complete manner. Members of the La Playa Park Neighborhood Association, I'm on the steering committee of that association, sent through a request for public records, and received at late date. Myself, I received a response to that, and also cross-referenced a duplicate public records request that I sent to the Planning Commission, and found that there was a correspondence, at least one correspondence that I received back from Planning, which was unregistered, meaning it was sent from an unidentified source. However, it was pretty clear to me that it was Katie Tang's correspondence. And you can review the rather extensive file that has been sent to you. I'll point out a number of pages for you on that file. Page 42, page 44, and 45 through 46. Also pages 52 through 60, and pages 73 through 77. I'll be referencing those particular items as again, I appreciate you taking the time to provide this for public record. It's an interesting request. What this request was about a transportation plan which would have effectively created a gridlock at the end of Judah at Great Highway, La Playa. Basically, the plan, the public was not privy to the plan as it developed. It's my estimation that it was done by a passive meeting process. That is, there were only 3 parties involved in the meetings. One was Supervisor Tang's legislative aide. Another was a business owner who would have a private business owner who would have profited by the use of public space at the end of that line in its development. And one other individual, his name is Steve Ward, who was actually very instrumental in improving the end of the line there by planting trees and creating kind of a pop-up park at the end of the line. Again, I appreciate you having taken the time to look at this. There's a number of issues that we're giving consideration to here. The fact that there are correspondences that were revealed in plannings.
Yeah.
Your time is up.
Okay.
But we've got some questions for you.
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
That'll probably
I guess I'm the only one, so I'll
Fiona.
just stay standing.
Yeah. Do you have any questions?
May I ask, would you like to provide your name for the record?
Yeah, my name is Mike Murphy. That's Murphy.
Murphy.
Yeah, and I'm not related to Tim Murphy,
Yeah,
although
who's Tim
he's
Murphy?
here as well.
So I think I probably need to disclose, we met a million years ago.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, Kim's your wife.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you, too.
Yeah, thank you for your service on this commission.
Sure.
To my
But,
estimation, it's one of the most important commissions we have.
Officially, for the record, I met Mike, God, that'd be 2004.
Yeah, that's about right, yeah.
How old's your son now?
He's 10, yeah.
So I met him 11 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's the extent of my knowledge of
I had to
Mike.
hustle to get him into someone had to watch him so I could be here tonight.
Well, the important part is it's been 11 years since we've seen or spoken to each other, so that doesn't in any way impact my ability to rule on this fairly. So, all right, say hi to Kim for me.
Thanks, I will.
Yeah, so I have a question. Again, remember I just walked in on this. I saw something about a restroom. This is a restroom building that's being...
The plan is all over the map. As I said, it was conducted mostly in private with these three parties. And in fact, in the correspondence... Just
summarize it. What is it that's being built?
What they wanted to do is they wanted to activate the end of the line.
I used to live at 44th and Judah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
44th and Kirkham is where we're at. You know where we're talking. What they wanted to do was...
I've never been to your house, but I know where it is. Yes.
Okay. Well, what they wanted to do was to create like a parklet, but there's already a parklet there. So basically what the owner of Java Beach wanted to do was to create more outside seating in a public space, which exists now. It's a private space that's been allotted to the public by the owner of the apartment buildings that are attached to the Great Highway Hotel.
Okay.
There's an empty lot.
Yeah, I know.
And it's filled with, now it's got like benches and succulents and stuff like that. So what they wanted to do was build a bunch of like picnic tables, which would be primarily used by patrons of Java Beach, expand their business. And there's actually information in the file that I received from planning, also from Supervisor Tang's office, that clearly states, let's keep this process small because we need to develop it before we release it upon the public. At the end of the day, the public objected because they found out that La Playa was being dead-ended, and the neighborhood would lose 24 parking spots.
I was going to say, I tried to go out there last year and there was no parking. So my question to you is, people come to us because they were turned down in their request for documents. Were you turned down on your request for documents, or are you claiming violation?
My claim is it's an incomplete request because I received documents from planning that I did not receive from Supervisor Tang's office.
Okay, so you're not complaining against the planning department. That's good.
Right, just about Supervisor Tang's office, because it's clear that this came from an unregistered device or something like that, and it casts suspicion on whether or not she's actually complying with the request, and also in the purview of this commission, whether or not there would be an accurate transition of records if we ever get another supervisor.
So you're...
Okay.
I believe that the complaint is regarding the completeness of the records provided by Supervisor Tang's office.
As stated, yes.
So your contention is that you think the additional records you got from planning that you didn't get from Supervisor Tang's office, but you believe that Supervisor Tang would be in possession of these records?
I believe that she would, yes, on some device or another, and that, again, because I only placed the request, duplicate requests with planning and Supervisor Tang's office, we don't know how many other communications are out there from these unregistered devices.
Do you have any more questions?
Yeah.
And you can find copies of those in the page numbers that I indicated.
So, Victor, what's I don't have it in front of me, the failure to send
Knowledgeable.
I think it's just still 67.21, failure to respond in a complete manner.
Yeah, let's stick with that then. So I'm going to make a motion that we bump this up to the full task force with a 6721, and let's sort it out from there. And it would be nice if Ms. Summers or somebody from Supervisor Tang's office were here. Did you have something? Or
we could continue it to the... I have a question for...
Yes.
I never remember. Do we compel people to come here now?
They were required to appear at today's meeting. However, they did not appear.
Okay.
So my suggestion is to send it up.
Okay.
And let the task force deal with
Okay.
it.
I mean, they're not here. I don't want to waste Mr's, Murphy's times.
Murphy's is... I don't know what the plural of
Do we
Murphy's
have
is.
in subcommittee, do we have parties to, does the other guy get to talk, or parties to offer facts and
No, we
evidence?
don't do that.
Okay. It's been a
I
while.
believe the recommendation is to find that we have jurisdiction and refer the matter to the full task force. Would you like to put a recommendation to find violation or not?
Yeah, let's find a violation.
With a recommendation to find a
Sure.
violation
They can unfind it. I'd rather go
of
in
section
with the...
67.21 for failing to respond in a complete manner. Is there any public comment regarding that motion?
I have a quick question, if that's okay. And I appreciate you, once again, I appreciate your service and your expansiveness on this complaint. When we're looking at the issue of the passive meeting body, that was not addressed in the original complaint. Could that be added to the complaint, to the body as a whole?
That's a clerk question.
That's a different question.
Yeah,
Just my knowledge of passive meeting body, that is for, you don't want to hold that.
Yeah, let go.
It is for members of the same body and not for, passive meeting body rules apply to members of one organization. They cannot meet in a room without a noticed public meeting. If all these people just happen to be from different organizations and meet together, I don't think passive meeting applies to that. That's might be more of an ethics commission issue.
Okay. I appreciate that response. Thank you.
Yes, and I can provide a copy of.
I can look at the ordinance again and see if I can come to a clearer sense of what's meant
and
by
if
that.
you like, you can file a separate complaint regarding passive meeting.
Okay.
But I just feel that this will be more of an ethics commission issue.
Okay.
For doing business outside of. For consulting and so forth.
Yeah, it seems clear that the business of this commission, as I understand it, is to ensure that that public business is done in public, not in private. So I appreciate that response. Thank you.
Okay, was there anything else on that?
Is there any public comment on this matter?
Bye, Mike.
Call the roll.
Mr. Murphy, would you be available for February 7th meeting?
February 7th is a Wednesday, first Wednesday. I can make that. Yeah.
Yes, I will send notice if that works out.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Say hi to the family.
On that motion,
Oh.
Member Hinsey.
Aye.
Hinsey, aye. Member Fisher.
Aye.
Fisher, aye. Wolf, absent. Tesfa, excused. The motion passes.
All right. That was, what are we on now?
Next on the agenda is item number 7. File number 17124, complaint filed by William Simpson against the fire department for allegedly violating administrative code, section 67.21, by failing to respond to a public works request in a timely and/or complete manner.
Number 7. Okay.
Please.
That was
Are both parties here?
Is the complainant here?
Don't know who he is, so.
Is the complainant here for this item? Would you like to come up and make a
Is it an anonymous complaint?
It is not after this, but I would suggest we may need to continue this without the. But I would suggest hearing from the respondent
Yeah,
first.
let's hear from the respondent.
Mr. Simpson is not here?
It does not appear to be.
What's his-
Oh, sorry. Here, hang on. Let me help Chair Hinsey here. So it
Let me
is
let me see his.
William
What's,
Simpson.
what's
What do you
his? Go ahead, respondent.
So
Go.
just to clarify, Mr. Simpson, the complainant is not here, but Captain, I can't tell what
Chief, Battalion Chief.
Battalion Chief.
Lori Kalos, Lorrie, last name Kalos.
And you're a battalion chief in...
Yes, representing the San Francisco Fire Department.
Okay. Alrighty then. So you work with Battalion Chief Nicholson?
Yes,
Your
well,
name?
she's now Deputy Chief of
Deputy
Admin.
Chief. So she's...
Yes.
Alrighty then. Okay.
hear
Battalion
from the
Chief
respondent.
Kalos. Go ahead.
Okay, I was given the information this morning, and I have reviewed all the documents. By Mr. Simpson's own request, the items he requested, we did respond. He did not apparently agree with our response. So the timeliness of response, we don't feel is even an issue here. What he requested are all personnel documents. He asked for evaluations and reports and deficiency write-ups, test results, and videos of his image during testing, specifically video of my final exam being the optimum word, on the 50-foot ladder. All of those items are not only just personnel documents, but examination items are not public record. By Cal Code 6254, that covers personnel records, and by the California Government Code Section 2654G, examination materials do not fall under public record.
Yeah, this happens a lot. Okay.
Yeah. Is that it?
Is that anything else?
That's the gist of it. Just if I may add, if I just may add, I did research this because I wanted to understand all the specific issues. When he asked for his testing results, they are given in the academy basically a report card every week. So of what your test results were. If there were deficiencies, they're given opportunities to discuss it with trainers so that they can retest and hopefully be successful in that process. So those kinds of things would have been something he would have acquired during the academy. As far as the other items, again, examination documents are that. They need to be held confidential, and that's why they have another government code beyond personnel records covering examination processes. And the specific video he requested would have included images of other people also, and therefore it's their own personnel record, basically. And would constitute a potential violation of their confidentiality.
So, Victor, how many more minutes are on here? Because we have to wait.
40 seconds.
Okay, so I have to wait till you're done before we can ask you questions.
Are you done?
Yes,
You're
thank
done.
you.
So, Chief, it was K-A-L-O-S?
Kalos, yes.
Kalos. So, you have. Well, you're the chair, so you go first.
I'll go first.
Want me to help you?
I'm good. So I hear what you're saying about the personnel records. So even if he's requesting his own personnel records or his own report card, that still falls under that exemption then?
Yeah. What he's asking for his own personnel records, we do have a personnel record that he was allowed to come and look at.
Okay.
And he can take, but that doesn't include necessarily all the specific equipment or material he was looking for, because he was looking for testing material. And testing material comes under the exemption over examinations, confidentiality of that material, so that if it becomes public, then how do we test people into the future?
Even if he's requesting his own test results.
But he got his test results in his report card.
Okay.
So what I'm sorry. Remember,
I'm done for now.
Chair Hinsey, thank you. So what I'm hearing, because again, I work for the state, and we have all kinds of tests and exams and everything else you can ever possibly imagine, and the interviews and the tests and everything are super duper, super secret, like we have to shred them before we leave the room, etc. So he's entitled to his results. Correct.
Which he was given.
Which he was given, but he wanted the tests.
The tests, the exam videos.
Yeah, that doesn't even come under sunshine.
And that's the point of the city attorney's determination, the fire department's determination, that it's not under the jurisdiction of sunshine because it comes under the California Government Code for personnel records and examinations.
This is not the first time this has come in front of us.
Yeah.
Do we bring this to the full test?
Pursuant to our procedures, if the complainant fails to appear without providing prior notice, we should table the matter, inform the complainant, and they are allowed 60 days to inform us if they still want to proceed with the complaint.
I'd like to make a motion to use all those words you just said.
So
at this time, the motion is to find that the task force has jurisdiction and to
table the matter.
Let me read directly from our procedures. The committee shall table the matter. The complainant shall be notified of the action of the committee and if they may be allowed to request that the matter be reopened within 60 days. The task force or its committee shall determine if the matter shall be reopened at that time. But we were not informed by the complainant that he could not appear at today's meeting, and I believe this is the provision that we should use at this time.
Right, that makes sense.
Would you like to make that motion?
I would like to make that motion. Are you going to make me repeat all those words?
No.
Okay.
The motion to table the matter, the committee has made a motion to table the matter. I will inform the parties of this and that they have 6 days to inform us if they still wish to continue.
Is there public comment on that motion? Seeing no public comment?
On that motion, Member Hinsey.
Aye.
Hinsey, aye. Member Fisher.
Aye.
Fisher, aye. Wolf absent. Tesfa excused. The matter is tabled.
Thank you, and have a good evening.
Good night, Chief. Is that what we call her?
Yeah.
Chief.
Next on the agenda is item number 8, file number 17130, complaint filed by Patrick Mooney and Steve Tom against Tim Fry and the Planning Department for allegedly violating Administrative Code, Section 67.21, by failing to respond to a public records request in a timely and/or complete manner.
Are both parties here?
Yes.
Okay.
You have 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Please identify yourself when you speak. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Steve Tom. This is my husband, Patrick Mooney. I actually think we can help assist in speeding this up. For number 17130, this was a complaint that we requested records and were not given those records. Through the course of the Sunshine preparation that both we and the respondent were required to complete. The respondent did provide the records that we were requesting. So 17130 is, I think, is now complete.
So that's done. So
Would you like to withdraw this complaint at this time?
We're going to withdraw 8?
Yes, we can withdraw this complaint.
All right.
All right.
Moving on to the next item.
Oh, yeah.
We are so successful.
Next on the agenda is item number 9, file number 17133, complaint filed by Patrick Mooney and Steve Tom against Shannon Ferguson, Tim Fry, and the Planning Department for allegedly violating Administrative Code, Section 67.7-1, by failing to provide adequate notice of hearing.
Okay.
You have 3 minutes?
Sure, I'll wait. Do you need to reset that?
Sorry.
Yeah, talk.
Thank you again,
All right, so
committee members.
9.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I said thank you again, committee members. Still Steve Tom, still Patrick Mooney. So this is regarding what's called a Mills Act application, which we had been working with the Planning and Historic Preservation Committee to shepherd through the process, which they had admitted through both their response to this committee as well as to us that this was something that they were doing. The hearing that we went before the Government and Audit Oversight Committee was on November 1st. According to the policies that we had seen and heard, that we were supposed to receive 72 hours notice before the meeting was held that we were going to be on the agenda. We received an email from Shannon Ferguson on October 30th at 12:48 p.m., which I believe was about 45 hours before the meeting. Because of our work schedules and because of the short time schedules, we were not able to make the meeting, and hence were not able to fully represent our case. On June 12th, actually on June 9th of 2017, Patrick had sent a note to Tim Fry asking that we have the opportunity to speak at meetings. Tim Fry responded on June 12th saying that we will have opportunity to speak at both at any hearing that would be held, and that we would be notified. The respondent has said that this is just a courtesy and they were not required to notify us, but in the course of the events they did apologize for the short notice and did seem to take responsibility for that. So we are just seeking some resolution to this. We realize that this isn't, that mistakes were made. We're not trying to throw anybody under the bus right now. What we are trying to do is get through the program of the Mills Act, have our application fairly heard, and be able to represent that to the committee and, again, to the Board of Supervisors if it gets to that point. We just do want to move forward with planning and the Historic Preservation Committee to finish the application process. Ideally, if that could be soon, that would be better. But, we just want to get a fair hearing and be able to be represented fairly. So thank you.
Let's just hear from the other side first.
Oh, the other side's here. Oh, hello. That's what a pleasant surprise.
Hi, Christine Silva, planning staff. The item before you is file number 17133, filed by Patrick Mooney and Steve Tom against the Planning Department as related to a proposed Mills Act project at 60 to 62 Carmelita Street. For context, the Planning Department oversees all Mills Act applications, presents applications before the appropriate hearing bodies, which includes the Historic Preservation Commission, and the Board of Supervisors Committee, and also their full board, and also monitors the city's existing Mills Act properties. The complainants allege that planning is in violation of Admin Code Section 67.7-1 by failing to provide adequate notice of hearing as related to a Government Audit and Oversight Committee of the Board of Supervisors meeting held on November 1st of last year. The Planning Department acknowledges that we oversee the Mills Act review process. However, there is no noticing requirement that requires planning staff to notify either by mail, posting, publishing, or other method of items before a Board of Supervisors committee. Any noticing requirement by the Board of Supervisors committee meeting would occur through the clerk of the board. For the November 1 Government Audit and Oversight Committee meeting, essentially the meeting in question, BOS Clerk John Carroll duly published the agenda on their website by end of day Thursday, October 26th, and produced printed notice of in the San Francisco Examiner on Sunday, October 29th. It is our understanding that no other notice is required. Any notice of hearing from planning staff is done as a courtesy for the applicants, and in this case was done via email on Monday, October 30th. But again, required notice of hearing falls under the purview of the clerk of the board. For the foregoing reasons, we respectfully request that you dismiss this complaint. Planning staff Tim Fry and Shannon Ferguson are here and able to answer questions should you have them. Thank you.
I'm good so far.
Do you have any questions? Okay, so I'm going to ask Misters Tom and Mooney.
Sure.
And again, I apologize because I just kind of walked into this,
No problem.
as you know. Sunshine Ordinance is here because somebody didn't get some documents or some information they were looking for. What is it that's
I
missing?
don't believe this is a document issue.
Yeah,
This
I know.
is a
I
notice
was
of
working that way. So this is how my brain works. I was heading that way. So your primary issue is that you weren't given you weren't given notice of this meeting, and this meeting already happened. So, what kind of remedy are you looking for?
So, good questions. I think per the Sunshine Ordinance, we're just looking that the rules be followed, and that we would have been able to give in 72 hours. So that's the basis of our Sunshine complaint. What we're looking for is we're not sure because right now our application has been continued to the call of the chair, which is Supervisor Kim at this point. We are trying to work with Supervisor Kim and Supervisors Peskin and Supervisor/Acting Mayor Breed, depending on how the meeting went tonight. And just trying to get some clarifications to them because of the questions that they raised at the meeting, which we weren't able to attend.
Right.
So right now, we're not sure what the resolution.
I think what we would like to have happen is basically have
Can you hold the mic up?
Yeah, you have to go into the
I
microphone.
think what we'd like to have happen is basically a redo of that hearing. That we weren't able to represent our case. That there were questions that came out of the supervisors that because we were not there, they couldn't.
That's so out of our jurisdiction, unfortunately.
Let me be clear that I get it. I get that you weren't able to represent yourself at your hearing, but that's totally out of our
Yeah,
jurisdiction. We can't do anything about your Mills Act application or rescheduling your hearing before the board. We can only, at this point, the only sunshine issue is that you haven't received adequate notice.
Yeah.
Have we
That's
what?
really the only
So
thing.
let's,
we didn't
let's
receive
go with that
adequate
then.
notice.
You
Yes.
didn't get adequate notice. So I see you're represented by, I always call them Gahimba, the 3 Gs, and that's yours?
Actually, we are represented by someone else.
Excuse me, I'm not sure what you're asking.
Arthur is.
Yeah, Arthur is representing you?
No.
Oh.
Not,
Arthur Mearson did put some correspondence with us together, but our current attorney is somebody else, but
Okay.
she's not here because
Okay.
she wasn't necessary for this hearing.
It's neither here nor there.
Right.
I'm trying to pull together all of this information and who's whom and. Please do. Yeah.
This was a Board of Supervisors meeting.
Yeah.
And they're responsible for noticing their own meetings. I am unaware of how the planning department would be responsible for noticing a meeting that they did not organize.
That's what.
So what I'm torn on is there's definitely a violation here, but I don't think it's planning's.
I don't, yeah.
Yeah.
Hold
that thought.
The Board of Supervisors is only required to post it in the newspaper, post
Yeah.
at the library, and post online. And that is the limit of their requirements.
Mr. Tom, you have something to say about that?
Yeah, I understand.
This could be a problem here.
I guess the one issue I have with that is the Planning Commission did give us notice and emails of other meetings and had actually done some not guarantees because there's no guarantee, but had made some affirmations and overtures that we would be able to address these and would be able to be given personal assurances from Mr. Fry that we would be able to speak at both meetings. And that was not able to happen because of this lack of notice.
But
that was coordinated by the Planning Committee. I mean, they stepped into the role of notifying us of the meeting, and in that case, we were not given the notice for the meeting.
It's their job basically to shepherd these applications through the entire process. It's not that they just drop these off on the supervisor's desk and say, it's yours to run with it now. It's their job to shepherd it through it because, once again, we're just citizens. We don't understand the process. We are just, going through the process, and we get an email and it says, show up here or fill this out, and we don't understand until someone says something.
I know that you're relying on others to sort of shepherd you through the process, if you will. But as Ms. Silva stated, for the record, it doesn't appear to me that planning is required to notice you of any meetings pertinent to your application, unless it's a planning meeting, which this one wasn't. And they seem to only do it as a matter of courtesy. So that means that really where I'm at is by the Sunshine Ordinance, this is really a violation on the part of planning because they complied with all their obligations under something.
Yeah, I mean, the Sunshine Ordinance is like ridiculously narrow.
Yeah.
And we can only act on what's, within what the voters approved in 1999.
Yeah.
Can we run this, Victor? Do you have anything to add?
I do not.
All right. I mean, I think
This is more of a policy issue for the planning department, and the task
This
force
isn't
cannot get
sunshine.
involved in policy of individual.
Yeah, we're not a
department.
policy body.
yeah, we're not. Yeah.
Not regarding policy. We cannot.
We don't write policy.
We cannot direct department to implement certain policies.
Does that make?
We wish we could.
Does that make sense? I mean,
Yeah.
I think my colleague here and I both wish we could do more for you, but does that make sense that we're constrained by our purview of the law here?
Yes, it does make sense. And I do, if I also may make just a comment and also address Mr. Fry and Ms. Ferguson. While we're disappointed, we do feel that we do want to move this forward, and we hope that we can have their participation and cooperation in moving this forward with the committee and the Board of Supervisors.
Yeah, I mean, you're not done yet. I mean, this is going to come back around again, right? The Mills Act is for historic
preservation.
Yeah, it's like a tax break or something. Yeah.
You're correct.
And And I would think that you could still pursue getting the hearing rescheduled at the board level. I'm not.
Which we are.
Yeah.
This is District 5, where you're located?
Yes. Yeah, 5.
Yeah. I used to live 2 blocks from you. Yeah, I know the area. Okay.
And may I suggest you can always contact the clerk of the committee and ask that he provide notice when it is scheduled. Sometimes they are willing to put a note in the file and provide additional notice.
Oh, we're definitely on top of it now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, the department is here. If you do need to discuss anything with them, feel free to. Would you like to proceed to the full task force, or?
It doesn't sound like there's a reason to.
Yes, I don't want to pressure you into withdrawing, but that is an option. That way we don't have to schedule this at the full task force.
Yeah, Chief, we're just tying up your time. Yeah, so we can withdraw.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next on the agenda, item number 15, announcements, comments, questions, and future agenda items.
No, that's our committee member announcements.
Do you have anything you want to talk about in the future?
No, I don't.
There being no items. Item 16, adjournment.
Awesome.
The meeting is adjourned.